Yeah.
I had major issues with trust. Rick's never done anything to make me have those issues, but my family, I've always been in a family where mom and dad were always there. Mom and dad were always together, always working together. You know, I never heard them fighting. I know they did, but they always made sure that me and my brother weren't around. But about 6 months into me and Rick's relationship, his dad left his mom. I know he doesn't mind me sharing all this, but and it was because he had been having an affair, which, you know, we were young, but it was just Rick and one of his sisters left at home, and we were over there a lot because we didn't want her to be by herself. And I saw how broken she was. I saw how much a guy can impact her life, how much his father walking out, like, broke her. You know, she didn't know where she was a very, very godly woman, and she always looked to God. She always voiced that to us, but it was hard. You know, it was hard for me to be able to say, you know, Rick's his own person. Rick is, you know, a guy is whoever he wants to be. He doesn't have to follow any paths or anything like that. But it was hard for me to accept that I could give Rick my heart and trust him with it, even because I knew what the outcome could be. And I really only, like, finally got all that settled, like, probably 2 years ago.
I remember that.
Hang on, I'm sorry, it was 2010.
Okay. So when y'all worked through those different scenarios, how did you do it? I mean, did you do it on your own? Did you have, because those issues, she dropped you for 2 months. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, did you just like go in your room and just play PlayStation, try to forget about it? I mean, what'd you do? How did y'all work through those?
I think it goes to the main thing is with me, I had you to talk to, of course. I had my parents, or my mom to talk to. And the biggest thing is making sure that you surround yourself with people that have the same values as, I want to say you, but in godly values that you should do or should have. And that's what helped me through, and I'm sure that's what helped her through, because at our church, you know, there were certain people that I could go to and talk to for encouragement, support, prayer, whatever it be. And that's how I think I work. I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah, I was the same way though. I was calling Mike, he was thinking I was crazy. But him and Dawn, or Rick's sister, I'm really close with one of Rick's sisters, and Rick's mom's just like my mom. I can go to her about anything. And you know, she's been through enough to have plenty of advice. And Mr. Katie, who was our high school Sunday school teacher, I always, you know, they were just like that's where we went. When we didn't know what tomorrow was really going to hold, that's who we called, because we knew that they had the biblical answers. They might not know from experience, they might not have ever been through that exact situation, but they knew, you know, they could throw out the Bible verses that told us that we were going to be okay. And even if tomorrow meant I wasn't with Rick, I was going to be okay, because I was still me. And I think the thing that got me through it all was Mr. Teddy's always told us this, but it didn't apply. I mean, it didn't affect me until it actually applied. That love is not always going to be that great feeling, like in the movies. It's some days you're going to wake up and you're not going to want to be there, but it's a commitment that you make. And once you decide to make that commitment, every morning you wake up and you know you just say to yourself, I'm going to be here for him. I'm going to be the best that I can be. That's what got me. So even though I'm having all these trust issues, I know that Rick's over there saying I'm committed to her, so I need to give that to him.
Good deal. And speaking about your Sunday school teacher, friends, and that sort of thing, what kind of word would you say as far as, I know I see it a lot in youth ministry that once a couple becomes a couple, it can kind of be like the rest of the world. It's like PlayStation don't exist. It's like texting and, you know, where we going this weekend and, you know, all that. What kind of encouragement would you say as far as the friends that you guys have and the role they play in your lives today and stuff?
I think, like with me, I guess it just depends on where you're at and where you go to school and all that kind of stuff, and how many people you know. With me, there was a few core friends that I can count on my hand. I had 3 that had the same ideals and values that I did when it comes to Christianity.
In life.
Yeah, in life. And you know, so I didn't have as many friends, but I did have those friends that I could go to and hang out with, and not just be me and Brittany all the time. And I think in youth group, we were able to, you know, when we were at youth group, me and Brittany kind of peeled off, and we had our own friends, which I think is definitely key to a good relationship.
Brittany, you want to say anything?
I mean, just don't isolate yourself. Like I said earlier, you don't know that he's always gonna be there. You like that feeling, but you don't always know. You don't want to one day wake up, he's gone, and you're by yourself. You know, you need those core friends. You need to be there for them when they're going through things. You need him, because one day you're gonna go through things. You don't need to it just be you and your guy or you and your girl. You know.
Right. So you guys are scheduled to be married in August. Have you ever second guessed yourself? That's not even on paper here, but I'm just, have you ever had to second guess it?
Get married?
Yeah, to Brittany and Brittany to Rick.
Yeah, I mean, and you don't, I can speak on,
Yeah.
okay, like 2010, we got engaged in 2009, in April. And, when was it? Was it October? October, it was that trust issue, that we had, and, that we were going through. And I actually, to be honest with you guys, and we were at a point where I felt like I was comfortable enough that we would work through it, but I knew it wasn't, everything wasn't, you know, jiving just right, and that she didn't fully trust me, and I knew that we couldn't have a relationship if there wasn't any trust. And so we did, we you know, it sounds bad to just say call off the engagement, but we did take a time out from our engagement. Brittany gave me the ring back, and we kind of took a step back and counseled with friends and family. And it was probably a good another 2 months till January before we decided that it was still a commitment that we wanted to make to each other and to God.
Now let me ask you this. I know this can kind of sound like super spiritual. Woo! Now you guys would honestly say that y'all feel like God has put y'all together.
Mm-hmm.
During that time that y'all took a sabbatical or a break from the engagement, was there a God moment where they're like, man, this is the person that God has called me to? Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. I don't know. I'm just asking. Did God reveal to you that Brittany's the one, Rick? I mean, I'm not married, man. I might be one day. I need to know this stuff, man. Help me out.
I think with me, I wanted the relationship, but it was hard for me because I'm gonna lay it out there right now. Like when we called it off, like after we got off the phone, I mean, I was supposed to go take an exam. I went home, y'all. My whole shirt, I had a gray shirt on, was just wet, like sweat and stuff, just from, you know, my nerves and everything. And this is really happening. And I think I knew that then that she's the girl that I need to be with, and I didn't want it, but I knew it was necessary to
Take a break.
Take a break and reevaluate some things.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean,
Mike, you probably don't even know this, but I think mine was seriously, you know, I knew in like I said earlier, like in 11th grade that I wanted to marry him, you know, but in 11th grade that's like it's far off, you know, that's a good thought, but you don't really key in on it. And this sounds crazy because we had been engaged, but I don't think I really knew it until I was talking to you, and it was that Tuesday night, because we went for like a week. Once I gave him the ring back, we took a week where we didn't talk at all, because we just needed to know what our feelings were without his influence and all that. So we didn't talk at all. And I was talking to Michael, and I was freaking out, you know, like I don't know where my life is going to go. That's all I've known is me and Rick since we were 13, you know, and now we're 20, and I don't know what's going on. But Mike said, Britt, do you honestly think that Rick isn't a part of God's plan for you? And because I was like crying, talking to Michael, and you know, Michael, I think he basically knew that it was just the thing we were going through. It was all going to work out in the end. But you know, and I took the time and I thought about it, and like I had peace the rest of the week that Rick would make the right decision, because I knew that God had helped us get through high school and all the battles that we had faced before for a reason.
That's good. Brittany, you made a statement on the ride over here that I have never thought about before. I don't know if the students have either. And I love True Love Ways. I believe in it with all my heart. But you made a statement regarding True Love, about True Love Ways that I've never heard before. And we're talking along the lines of you know, even on your wedding day, that you don't really want that to be a big emphasis, because true love waits for the Christian shouldn't be a big deal. It should just be a give me. It's just another part of the Christian walk. You want to kind of elaborate on that or say something else about that?
Michael, you know, like the normal little thing for true love waits is you take off your true love waits ring and you put on your wedding ring. Saying that I've waited, you know, I waited for marriage, but I've also waited for Rick. You know, it's not just that I'm waiting for whoever that is, I'm waiting for Rick. And I just think that I don't want it to be a huge part of our wedding. Like, I don't want that to define the wedding, because that's, you know, it's in the Bible. That's who we're supposed to be as Christians. And I think that's why it's kind of weird. Like, people can't look at somebody and tell if they're a Christian, because now, the way the world is, almost everybody in high school is having sex. Everybody's drinking, everybody's cussing. You know, that's just what you do when you're in high school, right? But, like, I can look at you and I don't, you know, I'd be like, you need to check yourself if I ever hear you cussing or drinking or having sex before you get married. You know, like, that's one of God's commandments. It shouldn't need to be, like, held up on a pedestal. It's really like everybody.
That's right. Now, Rick was linebacker in football in high school. Brittany was homecoming queen. They come from a small town, popular, everybody knows everybody, that sort of thing. But I'm sure at some point, whether it be family or close friends, has everybody always supported y'all's decision, and have y'all ever faced any ridicule for it? Talk a little bit to us about that. How did y'all respond and handle that?
Now, in high school, I never got ridiculed one time in high school about it. The one time, and I'll never forget it to this day, I wore my purity ring on a necklace, a chain that I had, and it was, I don't even know that I told you, but I was at South Piedmont Community College taking a class, and I guess my chain was out on my shirt, and one of the guys that didn't know me too well saw it, and he's like, "What does that say?" And it said "True Love Waits" on it, and he busted out laughing. It was kind of, and then another guy joined in, and it was hard, but you know, because I wasn't used to that. But I got home, and as I talked to Brittany about it, and I told my mom and everything, and you know, I found comfort that I was persecuted. Yeah. Because you're going to be persecuted for what you believe in, and that's just how it is.
Right.
And it's almost like something that you can be proud of, because you took a stand for God.
Absolutely. Brittany, how about you? You think
I would, yeah, definitely. Like, all through high school, I don't know, I was dealing with it a lot, but like, I remember it was our freshman year, in fall semester, I didn't have lunch with Rick or anything, and I was always sitting with, there was like 2 guys that were seniors and this girl that was a junior, and I just ate with, because I had like chemistry or something with them, so we sat with each other every day. And one of the guys, he was like, "So you're really waiting until you get married?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's the plan." You know, that's what's in my head right now. And he was like, "It'll never happen. It'll never happen." And I just remember that I was like, you know, I'm going to prove him wrong, just because it's not heard of.
Let's send him an invitation to
I know. But yeah, I had several, you know, girls telling me that I couldn't keep Rick without doing that, or that our relationship didn't really mean anything, you know, it's like world viewpoints. But you know what it says in the Bible, you know that if you have a relationship that can stand without sex, then it's something worth having.
Well, before I ask y'all a final question, I want to just kind of ask you guys, as we've kind of been going through this, has there been anything that popped in y'all's mind that you guys would like to ask Rick and Brit?
Who won the Super Bowl? And
It was when the Panthers played.
What's the Patriots one? Patriots. I just wanted to know.
Okay. Anybody have any questions related to what we've been talking about here tonight?
He did talk about that for a second.
Going once. Anybody?
Being in a relationship and stuff, like, I've seen the movie Courageous stuff, and like, you become a volunteer police officer or something, I don't know. Like, have you thought about taking the resolution